automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. You might remember some of these older versions, or these. Robots are pretty good at those ones.
I ain't gonna lie though, these should be pissing me off sometimes though, chat. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Live Fam. Dang. Now today, bro, we got a channel actually recommended by you guys called Cleo Abram or Cleo Abram. Not exactly sure how to say it, my bad, but Cleo, shout out Cleo. Make sure you guys go subscribe to her if you guys want more of this type of content. Now, I'm actually really excited for this, bro, because as I was like looking through the topics of these videos, a lot of things intrigue me. Like, what if you dig a hole through Earth? Why can't Roblox check I'm not a robot? What if you dove into the sun? So it looks like she's gonna be breaking down these things analytically, or you know, in ways that we wouldn't think about. You know what I'm saying? As she says right here, she's a video journalist making optimistic tech explainers. So shout out to her, man. We're gonna check this out and see why it's so popular. So without further ado, make sure to grab your popcorn and let's see. What if you dig a hole through the Earth?
What would happen if you dug a hole straight through the Earth and then jumped in? Would you get
that's easy, bro. You just use your aura to get back up.
stuck in the middle? Would you bounce back and forth forever? Would you go accelerating out the other side? So what happens is you jump in and you start accelerating down toward the center due to the force of gravity from the Earth beneath you. You're falling.
And then you die at some point, right? Because if you get closer to the Earth's core, there's no way you're surviving.
Faster and faster and faster, but as you get toward the center, there's less mass pulling you down. So when you reach the center after about 21 minutes, the Earth is going to be pulling you equally in all directions.
Oh,
now,
really?
Teleported in.
So then at that point, you'll just kind of just be stuck here like these. You know what I'm saying? But I wonder if that pressure that you get from being pulled each and every way could actually like separate your limbs or something.
Teleported in there, you'd be stuck forever. But lucky for you, in this scenario, you're traveling over 11 kilometers per second now.
Oh, nice.
1,000 miles an hour. So you're
Oh, yeah, we just casually do that when we take a run in the park or something, right? You know, all of us we have all reached 25,000 miles per hour, especially in the car, right?
1,000 miles an hour. So you're just going straight on through, and you'd slow down as you reach the other side. Finally, unless someone catches you there, you're going right on back. So you're bouncing back and forth basically forever. In real life, the deepest anyone has ever dug is a third of the way through the crust in the 1970s, and we're making a longer video all about it. So subscribe.
Damn, so this is the longest
video all about
hold on.
Anyone has ever dug is a third of the way through the crust in the 1970s, and
that's insane. That's the farthest we've dug. So look at how much more we're missing, bro. The mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. But that's insane. I never thought about that. If you actually dig a deep hole that goes all the way through, you know, Earth's crust or whatever, and the core, you would literally, I mean, as long as you're falling at a certain speed, you would go through that that part where you're supposed to just be frozen if you were to just teleport there or not go at that speed. That's crazy, honestly. But 25,000 miles per hour, is it really that crazy to believe that we're just gonna zip through that bit? But the crazy thing to me is that we're just gonna be bouncing back and forth. Like, we're never gonna stop. The speed's never gonna stop at all. That's interesting. We have our assumptions on screen. No air friction. Earth is a constant density. You don't die from heat or pressure. Yeah, that's a very great assumption right there, because that's my guess. I would think we would just die right away as soon as we get down and the pressure's too much, the heat's too much down there. So if you want to know about more what happened in real life, we have another video. Okay, yeah. Finally, someone who answers the questions without saying you'd get burnt. Safest attraction in a kid's imaginary theme park. Yo, low-key, bro, this does sound fun, but at the same time, for eternity, oh hell no. Like, I'll do that like one time, bro. Get me off this ride, not the second time. You just have to throw up a few times, bro. How do they build underwater tunnels? Ooh, that's a good question.
How do they build underwater tunnels? Like,
I mean, okay, before we even start, I'm assuming that we would just use submarines, right? And then we would attach tools to it in order to create these holes. That would be my assumption.
How does the water not flow in? The Channel Tunnel is one of the longest undersea tunnels, and workers actually started digging here, 45 meters under the seafloor. They built giant waterproof tunnel digging machines weighing over 1,000 tons.
Wait, over 1,000 tons? God damn.
And as they dug, they reinforced the walls with steel and concrete to withstand these insane pressures and keep the water from seeping in. The craziest part to me, though, is that the British and French were digging from opposite sides, so they had to line up perfectly. They even looked at fossils to make sure that they were at the right depth, and after 6 years, they finally met in the middle. Subscribe for more optimistic.
That's insane. Do you know how precise they have to be in order to make this happen, chat? Like, they literally have to match exactly. Like, there cannot be a little off, because then that can mess up any structure and cause any leaks, which would be very detrimental to the tunnel itself. So like, wow, that's actually amazing, bro.
They even looked at fossils to make sure that they were at the right depth.
They literally looked at fossils and shit to make sure they're there.
And after 6 years, they finally met in the middle. Subscribe for
And that was a 6-year project. I didn't even catch that part. Them exchanging their flags to confirm is awesome. Yeah, it definitely is. I bet Napoleon woke up in cold sweats after having visions about the French and English exchanging flags in a cave. yo, that's so true. I think these videos just get better and better. I love this though. I love these like explanations of things. And I mean, that makes sense, you know, in order to not have any leaks, they kind of start from a land point and then go under the ocean, I guess. And then obviously the concrete, everything they use to cover the tunnel is what keeps it from being, you know, in danger of leaks and stuff. But even then, I'm just like, damn, like, what about the water pressure though? Depending on how deep they go, I'm sure they don't go super deep, but obviously the deeper you go, the pressure is more immense. So it's like, you know, how far down can you build a tunnel? That would be my question too. What if you just keep digging?
If you've ever thought, what if I just dug a
start digging in your butt, twin. Oh, we're not digging in that? Okay.
What if I just dug a really, really deep hole? That's what the USSR did right here. That hole is 12.2 kilometers or 7.6 miles deep. That makes it deeper than the Mariana Trench. It's deeper than Mount Everest is tall. The USSR dug it starting in 1970. It was part of a race to see who could retrieve a sample from the Earth's mantle first. Kind of a space race, but the opposite. The United States.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be racing to there, bro. That's almost like racing to death because we don't know what the hell's going to go on down there. Like, I'll be good, bro. I mean, if we're using the machines and just taking control of it, I'm sure. But like, not one by one. All right, let's go. My turn for the pickaxe. No.
The United States only reached 600 feet before pulling funding, but the USSR kept going for 20 years. They made it about a third of the way through Earth's crust before the temperature got a lot hotter than they expected. Their drill bits started melting. The rock was so hot, it was like plastic.
That was like my concern in general, bro. Like, it's not even the fact that, oh, we can't go down there with using, you know, technology and our tools and everything, but it's more about the fucking nature of going down towards our core, bro. I mean, I'm imagining the pressure is gonna be immense, the temperature is gonna be crazy, and it's like create impossible work conditions.
It was like plastic, but along the way they invented all kinds of drilling and scientific equipment that we still use today. They found fossils of organisms dating back 2 billion years. And
what?
There was
2 billion?
Much deeper than previously thought. It's crazy though that the deepest hole humanity has ever dug is still 0.002% of the way to the middle of the Earth. There's so much that we still don't know about our own planet. If you like optimistic science and tech stories.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's always crazy to think about the many possibilities, the many things we don't know about our Earth, bro. Whether that's the land, you know, the core, the sea, the ocean, you know, space and stuff. Like, there's literally so much that in our whole lifetimes, we are never going to know. Like, just let that sink in. Like, you're never going to know all of the world. Like, nobody is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe far. I mean, I'm talking about millions, maybe even billions of years in the future is when we can finally say, oh, maybe we know about 30% of the Earth now. Like, I don't know, bro. It just depends on, you know, technology and everything. But at the end of the day, Mother Nature's Mother Nature, bro. And technology is not going to do shit to that. So, you know, it's just unexpected things, impossible work conditions. And we're just not going to know because there's so much to know. It's an endless amount of information, an endless amount of possibilities on what could be there. Can you guess this animal?
This is a drawing of a normal modern animal that you'd recognize, except they drew it.
Did he take Ozempic money?
In a way that many early science illustrators drew dinosaurs.
Damn.
With the skin just wrapped around the bone without muscle, turning this normal animal into a monster. Can you guess what it is? That's a zebra. Okay, what about this one?
Oh yeah, the guy from Madagascar. Yeah.
Okay, what about this one? That's a baboon. This one's my favorite.
What?
Can you guess this one? That's a hippo.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What are these teeth though?
This practice is called shrink wrapping, it caused a lot of really big misunderstandings about what dinosaurs actually looked like. They were way chunkier than people think. Artists and scientists are correcting that now. They're adding more loose skin and muscles and fatty tissues. They're showing dinosaurs like the animals they really were. If you want to see what dinosaurs really looked like, watch our longer video.
Damn, we might have to watch that longer video. I ain't gonna lie, but it kind of makes sense. I mean, to give slack to the people that, you know, were first drawing these animals just from their fossils or whatever, they didn't really know. You know, obviously the more time passed, the more they could get as accurate as they possibly can, even though nothing's gonna be 100% accurate because, like, we know we don't have any photos or anything of recollection in terms of these dinosaurs. So like, we can only kind of just assume and go off of what we know, but we never really know.
Loose skin and muscles and fatty.
But yeah, this is what I would imagine. They would be, you know, more fat and stuff, but still they'd be absolutely horrifying. So I wouldn't want to be around them, whether they chunky or not, bro. Why can't robots check I'm not a robot? Oh, this is the one I was interested in.
I have a question. Why can't a robot just click I'm not a robot? Turns out that the answer to that question is part of a bigger story about being human. The tech is called RICHLEV.
Now, what if I'm not human? What if I'm an alpha wolf? You know what I'm saying? I don't share human traits with other people, you know what I'm saying?
It stands for Completely Automated Public Turing Test to Tell Computers and Humans Apart.
God damn, man. Completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans. All right. No wonder they had to just put that CAPTCHA.
Apart. You might remember some of these older versions, or these. Robots are pretty good at those ones.
I ain't gonna lie though, these should be pissing me off sometimes though, chat. Cause sometimes, like, these letters just be really weird and you can't tell sometimes. And that be pissing me off, like, dude, I'm the human, but I can't tell what the hell this is, bro. Or sometimes even in these pictures, you have to do specific traffic lights. So, you know, some people would probably pick this square, because obviously these two things have it. But then maybe if you pick this square or something, because it's technically a part of the pole, that thing would be like, wrong. You're stupid. Freaking bot.
Robots are pretty good at those ones now. But the box test isn't really about the box. It's tracking all kinds of other things about your behavior. Like, for example, where you put the mouse before you click the box. Robots move like this. But humans move kind of like this. In other words,
that makes sense. I never thought about it like that too, because a robot would just move in a linear fashion. I know that AIs can probably mimic human behavior, so maybe that doesn't apply to everything. But, you know, in general, this does make sense that humans, you know, when I go to check the box, I'm not just like, boom, check it. No, I'm like, okay, well, your mouse kind of moves wherever.
Like this. In other words, these tests aren't about what makes humans better than robots. They're about what makes humans human. That's not new. It's the same question we've been thinking about for centuries. And in a world
we're not better than clankers,
where technology can do more and more surprising things, I think there's something kind of beautiful about constantly trying to figure out what makes us differentiatedly human. If you like optimistic science and tech stories, follow.
Damn, see, this is stuff I love learning because it's things you don't really think about, but that makes complete sense. You know, you kind of feel dumb for not thinking about it, you know? Like just this fact right here about the robot literally clicking a button differently than us humans. You know what I'm saying? Just our traits that are different from robots that they can't really mimic, even in AI and stuff. You know, AI is not going to well, let me not say. I was about to say that I don't think AI can completely mimic humans, but I don't know, bro. It seems like that's what they're aiming towards. How deep the ocean really is.
Most people don't understand how deep the ocean really is. Imagine you walk off the coast into the water. At 10 meters or 33 feet deep, you're already experiencing an entire additional atmosphere of pressure. At 214 meters, you're passing the verified record for a human diver with no equipment. At 800,
a diver with no equipment went 200 meters deep? What? How, bro?
With no equipment. At 800.
With no equipment?
130, you're the depth of the tallest building on Earth. And at 1,000 meters down, no.
Wait, what is this building called? Burj Khalifa? Burj Khalifa? Somebody tell me how to pronounce it right.
Tallest building on Earth. And at 1,000 meters down, no light from the surface is getting to you anymore. And you're only about a tenth of the way down. 1,220 meters. And you're.
See, when we start having this turn point when there's no light, I feel like that's when it's just gonna turn into an absolute horror show.
Down 1,220 meters, and you're in the territory of the deepest military submarines that we know about. At 3,800 meters, you hit the Titanic, and just above it is where the infamous Ocean Gate submersible imploded. The deepest recorded natural point is 10.
That shit's so crazy that, I mean, I just remember those days, bro. Remember when they were like counting down how much time or oxygen they had left, and then we ended up finding out that it just, you know, imploded pretty much immediately, just crushed everyone, which is honestly the way better scenario than everybody was trying to do. Like, I remember it was going so crazy on Twitter and stuff, like, oh my god, they have this many hours left, like we got to try to save them, blah blah. But dude, it's just like once you get to these type of pressures down here, it's not surprising at all that they got immediately crushed. You know what I'm saying? Like, at all. And it's literally ironic that they were going down to see the Titanic. This was a whole what do you call it, attraction, you know what I'm saying, for rich people to be like, okay, I want to go see the Titanic, and then they seen it and then they sunk with it, bro. And that's sad.
The deepest recorded natural point is 10,984 meters deep, or 6.8 miles. You might have heard of this point. This is Challenger Deep. If you put Mount Everest into the water upside down, there would still be over a mile until you got to the bottom.
Crazy.
It's just amazing. But the thing is, we haven't mapped it very well. If you want to know more about the crazy effort to map our oceans, watch this video right here.
Oh, she's doing great promo to her other videos. What if you dove into the sun? Nigga, I'm dead.
If you dove into the sun, the first layer you'd hit is hot enough to make diamonds boil. If you're magically protected, you get through it in just about 400.
Yeah, keyword. If you're magically protected. And even if you are protected, I don't know what type of motherfucking technology you have to withstand sun heat. Like direct sun.
It's about 400 kilometers. Then you'd be in a boiling ocean of plasma where ionized gas rises and cools and sinks like a giant churning pot that gets up to 2 million degrees.
2 million? God Damn. I mean, but it makes sense though. You know, we just put it in the big picture of things. I mean, look how hot it be getting nowadays. I feel like the sun just coming closer or something.
Kept going, you'd hit a zone so dense that light particles, photons, get trapped, bouncing around randomly like a ping pong machine that takes 170,000 years
Holy
for
shit.
light to escape. Then, finally, you've reached the core, the place where hydrogen atoms smash together to create helium, nuclear fusion. The result? 15 million degrees Celsius. Energy that powers the sun and life on Earth. For optimistic science and tech stories, subscribe.
Bro, oh my gosh, this is so insane, bro. Like, just how crazy the sun is on its own and how much heat it carries and how important it is to our atmosphere and to Earth and to every freaking, I mean, not every planet. I mean, there's a lot of planets that are kind of connected to the sun and stuff, as we learned, but just the Earth in general, it literally powers life itself. It's literally a vitamin to have the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy.
15 million degrees
15 million degrees Celsius in that heat of the core.
Celsius. Energy that powers the sun and life on Earth. For optimistic science and tech stories, subscribe.
I mean, once we start looking, that I love doing this thing where you start looking at the big picture things, right? I mean, just think about how crazy and how hot a sun has to be heating up or to even be showing through the Earth and literally like affecting the heat on Earth. Like, and it's so fucking far up into the sky. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about that, it makes sense that it has to be 15 million degrees Celsius in the middle of that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense, even though we see that and you're like, oh my gosh, but it makes sense. How do they make particles hit each other?
On the border between France and Switzerland is the biggest science experiment ever built. It's this huge tunnel, over 100 meters underground and 27 kilometers long. And inside that tunnel, scientists put a long blue tube. And inside that tube, they put two pipes that they keep colder and emptier than outer space. And down those pipes, they fire particles smaller than atoms in opposite
Particles smaller than atoms?
in opposite directions, pushing them faster and faster and faster until when they're almost at the speed of light, they smash together. So my question was, how did they get them to actually hit each other?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Grains of salt at each other from insanely far away. Seriously, think about this. How would
Well, it's gonna have to do with the speed. You know what I'm saying? Because the more speed you have, the more you can kind of control, like, okay, it's gonna go straight for a certain amount of time. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, damn, what's the analogy I could use? Like for a paper plane, right? If you have heavier paper, use construction paper over just like a regular flimsy notebook paper, you're gonna be able to throw it at a farther length, like straight, than you would with the flimsy paper. The flimsy paper, you throw it and it kind of like a limp dead. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously, think about this. How would you do that? If you just thought fire tons of salt, that's exactly what they do. They don't just fire 100 or 1,000 protons at each other. They fire 100
billion.
100 billion versus 100 billion. Guess how many actually collide? 60.
Bro, only 60 out of that 100 billion? What percentage is that, bro? Like negative
60, which is why they do the whole thing over and over.
I gotta actually do that math now. 60 out of 100. That's 0.000000006%. God damn.
Over and over again, 30 million times per second. It's just so cool that we can do this. If you like optimistic science and tech stories, follow for more.
That is crazy, man. I did not expect that, how much they put in there to collide. I thought it was just gonna be mostly due with the speed, but damn, I mean, it's just rare. Kind of like how little spermies have to find the egg, man. Like, and then we popped out. I mean, we're all rare, right? I love how we as humans just resort to banging things together really fast to discover more things. Yeah, we also bang each other. Okay, never mind. All right, let's get out of it. How big is the biggest black hole?
The size of black holes is insane. One of the smallest known black holes is J1650. Its diameter is about as long as Manhattan, but it's got a mass of 3.8 of our suns.
What?
This black hole, Messier 15. It's about the size of Mars with a mass of 4,000 suns.
Bro, why do we need these black holes? Like, is it the fucking Doctor Strange nigga? Like, what's you doing, bro?
Now we're getting to the lower limit of what's considered a supermassive black hole. This one's about the same size as our sun, but 100,000 times its mass.
Oh my gosh.
This black hole at the center of our galaxy, Sagittarius A, is about this size compared to our sun and has 4 million times its mass.
Bro, what is the point of this? This is why space is so weird, bro. Because what is the point of having a black hole with this amount of mass?
We captured this image of it in 2022. Now comes
Oh my gosh, wait, that's a real image? Holy crap, that looks so sick.
the truly insane. The black hole in galaxy M87 weighs 5.4 billion suns. It was the first to be imaged in 2019. And
It weighs 5.4 billion suns? Yo, what's your purpose, bro? I deadass need to know. M87, we gotta search up. Is a massive elliptical galaxy in the Virgo cluster that functions as a high-energy cosmic laboratory. Its central supermassive black hole, M87, powers a 5,000 light-year long jet of plasma traveling near the speed of light, which regulates star formation and emits radiation across the spectrum. Oh my gosh, bro. Powers a massive jet, emits strong radiation, influences galactic evolution, hosts a wobbling jet, serves as a scientific benchmark. As the first black hole to be imaged, M87 is used to test general relativity and study the behavior of magnetic fields near event horizons. Oh my gosh. I mean, so I guess it is very important. You know what I'm saying? It powers a lot of things. So I guess that's like the main thing I was looking for. I'm like, what is it powering? You know what I'm saying? What is its actual purpose? Like, is it just there just because it wants to be a black hole? Like, I got a black hole. It's not in the space.
it was the first to be imaged in 2019. And finally, one of the largest black holes.
And yeah, it's literally the first one that's been imaged. So that's significant.
And finally, one of the largest black holes ever discovered weighs a whopping 66 billion times more than our sun. We're making another video about black holes, so subscribe.
Holy crap. I did not know that. I knew there was black holes and stuff. I did not know they were this massive, dude. Jesus. One of the most massive black holes we know about is Ton 618, but there are others that might be more massive. One example is Phoenix A, estimated to have a mass of 100 billion suns. Jesus. Ton 618 is further away from Phoenix A, meaning we're seeing what it looked like further back in time than Phoenix A. Maybe there's even more massive black hole out there waiting to be found. Yeah, Chad. I mean, that's the thing about space and stuff, even with the ocean. Space, ocean, the Earth's core, everything. Maybe not the Earth's core. The Earth's core might be pretty solid. You get it? But anyways, with these planets, I mean, I was not expecting it to keep growing. So there's got to be more stuff that we don't know about, and even more massive black holes, which I don't know what the purpose is for. What are we powering, bro? We're powering everything in the world. All right, chat, that's enough for Cleo, bro. This is great videos. I love this. I love, you know, getting educated on things, as you guys know, on the channel. And this was very, you know, unique way. I love the animation style, plus her just like talking about things and everything. It was perfectly mixed together, and I see why she's super popular. So yeah, chat, let me know what else you guys want to react to, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.